welcome you all to the National Biopharma Mission webinar series. This series is to create awareness about the EHS departments in the country. We are featuring 6 webinars in the series, and we have successfully completed 5 so far. In this webinar, we have in these 5 webinars, we have covered different verticals of EHS functionings in the country. And now we came to the last webinar in this series, and in this particular webinar, we will be covering the skills and career development of EHS professionals in India. This series has been conceived by National Biopharma Mission, which is a flagship program of Department of Biotechnology, and along with partnering with World Bank, which is aimed to promote and fund innovative product development of biopharma products in the country. On behalf of National Biopharma Mission, Biotech Consortium India Limited, New Delhi, BCL, is managing and coordinating this entire session. We are very fortunate to have very eminent speakers among us today. We are having from industry, we have speakers, we are having speakers from the consultancy organization, and we have very eminent EHS trainers also along with us. In this section, we are actually fortunate to have Dr. Kumar Sharma as our chair and moderator. Dr. Kumar Sharma is a managing director of Biotech Consortium India Limited, and BCL is a public limited company promoted by Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, and the All India Financial Institution for Facilitating Biotechnology Commercialization. Dr. Sharma is a doctorate in Preventive Medicine from Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research, PGIMER, Chandigarh, and she has postdoctoral experience from IIT Mumbai, and has to her credit many awards and experience in academics also there. She has more than 25 years of experience in the area of technology evaluation and transfer and management of IPR, project consultancy, including DPRs for setting up incubators, science parks, biotech parks, etc. Managing startup ecosystems, public-private partnership funding schemes, entrepreneurship development, etc. She has coordinated transfer of more than 50 technologies in various sectors of life science. She is a member of a number of national and state level committees responsible for biotech development and commercialization, and also a member of the National Academy of Sciences, India. With this brief introduction, I welcome you, ma'am, to chair this section. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dilip. So, a very warm welcome to one and all once again. So, as Dilip said, my name is Purnima Sharma, and I'm heading the Biotech Consortium India Limited. We are the organizers of these series of webinar. As mentioned by Dilip, Biotech Consortium India Limited, popularly known as BCIL, has been set up as an initiative of the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and the All India Financial Institutions for facilitating commercialization of biotechnology. This webinar is being organized as part of the Department of Biotechnology's National Biopharma Mission, which is being implemented by BIRAC. And this NBM program, the mission, is aimed at enabling and nurturing the ecosystem for innovative research and product development capabilities in the biopharmaceutical area to enable this sector to become globally competitive over the next decade and to transform the health of the Indian population. And through these efforts, it is proposed that India would work towards achieving the target of $100 billion for biotech industry by the year 2025, and also enabling in capturing 5% of the global biopharma market share. So, as was mentioned by my colleague, this is the 10th and the last webinar in the series of 10 such webinars being organized currently under NBM for BIRAC, which is the implementing agency for these webinars. 4 of these webinars were in the area of ethics and clinical research, and 6 in the area of environment, health and safety, EHS. As you all know, EHS, that is environment, health and safety, is an important area, and NBN strives to reduce the social and environmental risks to this pharma sector by, number 1, minimizing and mitigating the adverse environment and social impacts, also at the same time meeting the requirements of the laws and the regulations of Government of India and the states. Uh, in today's world, EHS area has become a core component of every businesses, and it's become a key driver of the company's overall business strategy. And in this context, this area offers a lot of career opportunities also. And today's webinar assumes a lot of significance because of this. A career in this area, that is the EHS area, it means that one should have the requisite qualifications and also the skills and certifications for applying to different industrial sectors and for maintaining efficient and superior health and safety standards, which are as in conformity with the overarching laws of the country. And the prospects of a career in health and safety are bright, especially in India, considering the huge growth potential that this country offers for the biopharma sector. One can vouch for it by looking at the growth statistics in this biopharma sector also. But as I mentioned, one should have the right qualifications and also the specialized skills. Therefore, accordingly, we have structured today's webinar to provide our participants a holistic overview of the career prospects in this area and how best they can harness these opportunities. And to give you this holistic overview, we have three very learned and experienced speakers. I'll name them. Mr. Rajendra Patil, who's the head of Environment, Human Health, Safety and Security at Syngene International Limited. You all must have heard about the name of this company, very well-established company. Mr. Rajiv Shukla, who is the former Deputy Director, Central Labour Institute, Mumbai, the Directorate General of the Factory Advice and Labours Institute, and Ms. Gayatri Ramanna, who is the Vice President of EHS Consultants. Extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed speakers. Before I invite our first speaker, Mr. Rajendra Patil, I would like to briefly introduce Mr. Patil. Mr. Rajendra Patil has over 2 decades of experience in the area of environment, health and safety. Mr. Patil holds a master's in the area of environmental engineering and also an advanced diploma in industrial safety. He has also been associated with many leading organizations, including Sandoz and Syngenta. Everyone aware of these companies. Currently, he is the head of the Environment, Health and Safety at Syngene International Limited, where he is responsible for advising Syngene for adopting global best practices in EHS management. So with this, I request our first speaker, Mr. Patil, to kindly deliver the presentation on career prospects in the area of EHS from the perspective of biopharma company. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Patil.
I must say at the outset, Dr. Purnima, thank you very much. I must also extend my thanks to Biotech Consortium supported by Department of Biotechnology. I'm also pleased to share my panel members, Rajiv Shukla, with the ex-CLI DG Fastly director, and also my panel member, Gayatri Ramanna. So what I'm going to share now, fundamentally my own experience, how I have traveled individually adopting EHS management as a profession. So these are all my personal experience added with some flavor of my own leaders. I worked all the way 20-25 years. What I am trying to do in next 20 minutes is what is the EHS? EHS stands for Environment, Health, Safety, Sustainability. What is the industry overview? Who can adopt EHS career? There are some qualifications also required. And if we decide to aspire for adopting a career in EHS, what are the ingredients required as a leadership point of view from EHS management? and what are the options as an emerging career one can convert the profession into an expert areas. So I will touch that. uh, to start with, I think more or less the industry, if I say the industry perspective in India or anywhere else, EHS department, what we call, or EHS function is primarily considered as a legal requirement. So many corporate organizations have a function called a legal requirement, and this is mostly the legal requirement is coming from Factories Act, coming from uh, Environment Protection Act, coming from Petroleum Regulation Act. So fundamentally, the business terms used here in EHS management is EHS is the legal requirement. While somebody is practicing EHS, it is about a cross-functional engagement with the business leaders. A lot of coordination, lot of influence, a lot of interaction, cross collaboration is also required because we are helping the business to deliver their objectives, keeping people safe, keeping environment protected, and also protecting the asset in a larger scale. And I have seen in my experience the ownership from the line management. What does it mean? Line management means if there's somebody running a production line, if somebody is running a, I would say, maintenance line, they have their own people, and there is safety requirement coming as an objective of the business. Then it is seen that it is EHS department to help them. Fundamentally, it should be owned by the line management. That's where I'm coming from. And if you ask me what standards these corporates are adopting, if I say if there's a petroleum industry, they have a different standard. If it is a chemical industry, there are different standards. For biopharmaceutical, there are different standards. So what I mean here is it is very diverse field, and the relations would vary, the scope would vary, the complexity also would vary. Accordingly, the EHS department, whoever is working, also need to have a diverse capabilities. Like in a given situation, fundamentally, if you talk about EHS, the safety, protecting people, protecting against hazards, not to have any injuries, then if I say a safety officer is there, I see his capabilities is very diversified. He should be a philosopher, he should be an advisor, he should be also assist in helping implementing accident prevention programs. So we have a diverse capabilities also built into this. And more or less, I said that statutory requirement, one of the backbone of safety management in India is Factories Act 1948. It talks about how to protect people at workplace. And if you talk about workplace, diverse industry, diverse exposures, diverse hazards, so this fundamentally EHS is coming as a legal requirement. So what does it mean then? That means as an EHS professional, when you need to overcome this, I'm basically a graduate civil engineer, then master's in environmental engineering, and I'm also on the board of syllabus for some one of the leading university. There is no curriculum taught at engineering level or at a graduate level on a safety management or an environmental management. So we lack that orientation not there. What will happen is when you guys are all adopted some kind of a career now, will join into some industry, suddenly you see that people start talking about safety because the students were never given that opportunity to orient into requirement of the business to do a job, but in a safe manner, not harming environment. Then, as you see that, not of light, lot there are no bright bulbs coming at the beginning. Like if you see the sales and marketing, the IITs and IMS, they're all going into business strategies, sales and marketing. So there is a tendency to whatever is left, then that career starts in EHS management. So it is not a top attracting portfolio, but the passionate people can only do that. So why? Because it requires some, I would say, patience, resilience, passion, because it is connected to people. Then people, you talk there about behavior and culture. Finally, we want to avoid injuries and protect environment. We also need to have a kind of a balance between controlling and caring. Many times we need to control the situation by telling the line managers or the risk owners to do this way, this way, this way, and also balancing on caring also. What does it mean? Mean even if somebody wants to do a job, we should be influencing the decision makers in the line so that he's protected, his people are protected. The business of course will deliver when people are protected, environment protected. Then it is becoming a business of excellence. Then coming to, I would say that one of my panel member will talk lengthy into educational requirement to become a safety officer. I would say that, okay, there are some fresh, as a freshers, we need a basic qualification. Either you to be a science graduate, would be an engineer, or even a medicine. A doctor can also be adopt a EHS profession, because if you see the EHS stands for health. Health is all about the people working in a workforce, working in an environment of hazardous situation. We want to protect their health. Doctors are also involved into an EHS department to advise them the right protection. So basic qualification is required. Based on that, when we start as a general role, like I started my career as an environmental engineer because I was master's in environment. Gradually, then I entered myself into safety, health, and all that. So there's a beginner as an environmental engineer or an occupational hygienist or a safety engineer. All this will further have a professional membership. Like if somebody want to aspire to become an occupational hygienist, there's something from American Board of Industrial Hygiene. They recognize occupational hygienist. So again, there's a professional qualification required to become a specialist. There is also something called a mandatory from the Factories Act to become a safety officer. That safety officer has to complete industrial diploma, all the specification. Then, depending on our passion, in what way I want to prosper myself into environment, health, and safety, then we convert as a part of a senior leadership. Then we can influence business decision makers to take right decision so that the right design comes into workplace, people are protected, and environment is protected. This is something where the perspective with it is based on individual interest. Now, I would say that fundamentally there will be foundation for initial 1 to 5 years. Like somebody starts with a safety officer, somebody starts with the environmental operator, somebody starts with the occupational hygienist. Once they do the foundation course, then they start picking up, consolidating what they want to achieve in that business environment. Now we are talking in the context of biotechnology, biopharmaceutical, pharmaceutical. So based on the area of interest, we can consolidate. There are also what happens in EHS management. Suppose there are good people in the line, in the production line, in maintenance line, in quality control line. They are also interested to work to protect people. So there is a possibility of a lateral entry coming to EHS department. Like, they never had opportunity to work in safety department from the beginning, but all of a sudden with the passion they want to bring it, they can also come as an expert, like biosafety officer come as an expert into the EHS department, or I would say the occupational hygienist from quality control or technology engineering or production line, whoever feels the passion can come and start contributing to the EHS function. Of course, they will build their own professional certification, which is recognized internationally. Over a period of time, like if you take my own example, by core subject matter expertise, I'm an environmental engineer. But over a period of time, with opportunities across world with multinational, I become a safety officer. Then the safety came into my arena. Then I started looking into what is hygiene management, like basically occupational exposures in the production line, how to see that this exposure is not there to people. So picked up the health part. While I picked up that, now I am a generalist. While I'm expert in environment, but the management per se, I'm sitting with the leadership team as a general EHS management, what way I can advise. Anyway, I can go to the expert and tell them. So point here is, after consolidating for 5 to 10 years, you can decide yourself, either you become a process safety manager, either you become a expert in occupational hygiene or an environmental operation. So there are steps from the beginner to proficient. Now, while we develop this career, there are also, I would say, the primary requirement of course, uh, there is an expertise and competency. There is a legal requirement also complete some degree. We also require a soft skill. Soft skill to an EHS department, I would say, if there is a safety officer or if there is an environmental manager, he must also know the problem solving or decision making processes. He must also be part of a goal setting, leading across functional team to lead the cross functional team. He must also have a communication skills internally, internally with the internal stakeholders, externally with the government authorities, and also have a leadership of caring and controlling. That means we care for them, also we control them. Then we must be acting as a advisor, assist them, enforce them. Many times what happens, we tell them to do something better. We advise them. Some leaders will adopt it and do it. Some leaders may ask help how to do it. We should help them. There are some leaders may not be able to do it because they want enforcement to act on that, start implementing that. So we must also have a capability to advise, assist, and enforce. And of course, this is all possible when there's a passion to deal with the situation. Protect people is the goal, protect environment is a goal in our profession, and a society at a bigger scale, because when a disaster happens, the emergencies which are there on the site may also cross the borders of the fence of the factory and impact community. That is what happened in Visakhapatnam very recently. That is what happened in Bhopal gas tragedy, when this gas leaked across and went into, and you know that it is a black spot. It is a black spot in industrialization, how safety was ignored. So what I'm trying to tell is, as a profession, you must have all these key qualities to become successful in EHS function. If at all I adopt all those things, I would say that there is one option you can start. If you are into environmental management, it is all about Environment Protection Act. There is the Water Act, there is the Air Act. Because of that, we need to install some effluent treatment plant. We have to meet the discharge standards. So there is environmental management, I would say, that operating, controlling, emission control equipment, hazardous waste management. That is also one forte where people can develop. Then also an upcoming field recently passed because of bilateral agreements with international conventions. A lot of product stewardship, a lot of sustainability requirements are coming up. Sustainability, I would mean that from the United Nations Development of Environment, they are rolling out global reporting initiatives, maybe emission, maybe water, maybe wastewater, maybe energy efficiency. We can also develop as a product stewardship. What does it mean? If somebody is making some product, this profession, this person, he or she can see the effect of product from cradle to grave approach. That is where it's coming up. I talked about occupational health. Occupational health is all about a medical doctor with an EHS department. He screens people. There are certain legal requirements to assess people on health, what their status is there against the hazards, advise them to change their roles, advise them to complete something which is not in line with the hazardous operation. So there is a doctor is involved. We talked about occupational hygienist. Occupational hygienist is someone who can go to the field, in the production line, in the maintenance line, what way the operation can have an impact on people. Like if there is a line producing a lot of noise, then the decibels are not meeting the legal requirement, whatever is defined, 85 decibel for 8 hours. This person can go and study that line, tell that this is where exactly the noise is coming. This is what we have to do, a noise prevention activity. That is how the noise is brought down. So that is occupational hygienist job. There is safety management. Safety management, I would say that the bigger incident, the catastrophic incidents go into process safety management. That is where the big disasters happen. We don't want to happen that. Then there is also kind of an administrative part of work, incident management, incident investigation, because we learn a lot of things, what is happening beyond our workplace. Like what we learned from Vishakhapatnam incident, we can also improve in our area if there are any gaps. So safety management are basically into two groups, process safety and also administrative safety. Like many of the accidents, what happen in industry are because of slip, trip, fall. So we need to investigate what we create an environment so that people go home every day safely with a smile, not with the worries. Emergency management, process safety management, finally audits and compliance. So I would say that when you start from the foundation 5 years, then you start consolidating next 5 years. After 10 years, you will convert yourself into some of these portfolios, which is very highly attractive, highly respected, and complex business environment needs such professionals. Okay, while we say that, what is that? These are something I would say caveats to be kept in mind as a EHS professional. These are purely my personal notes. They should be passion to protect people. Then only we can survive in this field. It is not that somehow I want a job, I want to do something, then will not prosper. Then we must care for environment by passion. Whatever I do, we must care towards environment, then only this will work. Then we should adopt what we want to do objective. What is the value I'm adding into that? What is the improvement I want to do step by step? Because the forts are not built overnight. They are built over days and days and days. So foundation has to be made, substructure has to be made, superstructure has to be made. That requires some time. I would say that people often change organization. Stay there in some organization, study that, do your best, then take a jump. Not there jumping every 2 and 3 years, then you're not be adding anything into that, building your, I would say, consolidating your profession. Go through hardship and challenges. Don't run away from, okay, the line manager not listening to me. I can't solve this problem because the whole world knows this problem cannot be solved. I would say that go through that. For that day, do the best out of it. And every day we come tomorrow, it should be better than yesterday or today, right? That is where we engage people, find out what operation doing, what step they're following in the processes. You need to be part of that team to understand their difficulty, and you are there to support them. And you have an open door to talk to anyone in the management, because by rule, you can go and talk to site manager, you can go and talk to production manager, because your intent is very much honest to protect people. Then I do that, then I also follow as a role model. I must walk the talk all the time. Means whatever I say, I must practice, or else people will not believe, they will not trust you. You must be visionary in planning your activities. How to protect people, how to protect environment, how to protect assets should be visionary. Then you have to manage a lot of spectrum of activity, technical, professional, sometimes tough situation with your bosses. Then you should maintain trust, and you should pump confidence into the system. There is also statutory compliance involved into this. And you need to sometimes escalate things, and you need not convert yourself into irritant worker. Somewhere in my career, I saw people talking about, oh, always bring this problem. Don't become that. Be part of that. Then you must say that you must take tough stand. Doesn't mean that you bang the table or something. You must say that softly, this is simply not acceptable. This is not line with our policy. This is not line with the protected people. Overall, if I say that adopting EHS profession, actually you are leading the leaders, I would say. Most complicated leadership, because I was a line manager. I was operating effluent treatment plant with 25 people. I was operating incineration facility with 25 people. As a line manager, I can tell them they will do that. But as a safety officer or EHS professional, you can't direct them. You can only influence the line manager to do what you want. So actually, we're doing a toughest leadership role here. We're leading the leaders. So with this, if we don't follow this, what will happen? This is the outcome. If you don't take safety seriously, there are disasters happening. You know that what went into Flexober. You know about what went into Bhopal tragedy. you know what was about France incident with an ammonium nitrate blasted and a crater was created in France. Then, you know, recently the BP Texas. So EHS is very serious. EHS profession is also very serious. With that note, I come to my presentation, end of the presentation, to tell about Syngeon International. We are a leading CRO, and we have a 26 years of experience of solving complex R&D problems. We are located in Bacon Park. We also upcoming facility which is ready to operate commercial scale at Mangalore. We also have an extended arm of Discovery Commission Hyderabad. Overall, we have a scientific ecosystem with 4,200 qualified scientists. We have IP protection positions. We have 362 clients, and most of them are coming from across the globe. The major pharmas are engaged with us, quality focus, and track record. So with this, I stop my presentation. So I'm open for any questions or any comments. Over to you, madam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rajendra Patil, for a comprehensive information. Ma'am. So we have two poll questions to the attendees. So the first poll questions will open your screen. You can select the correct answer and we'll give you 25 seconds to answer it. EHS stands for Environment, Health, Safety and Security, Environment, Health, Safety and Sustainability, Energy, Health, Safety and Sustainability, Environment, Health, Sustainability and Security. So we'll be giving another 2 seconds to answer it. So the correct answer for this environment, health, safety, and sustainability. We have one more poll questions. Specify emerging career opportunities in EHSs. Occupational hygienist, process safety expert, environmental expert, all of the above. We'll give 5 more seconds. Correct answer is all of the above. All these 3 options will come in the career opportunities. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much, Mr. Patil. So with this, we move to the next presentation. So we have with us Mr. Rajiv Shukla, who is going to deliver a presentation on skills and certifications required in operating EHS department from a biopharma industry perspective. So before I request Dr. Mr. Shukla, I'd like to briefly read out his biography. So Mr. Rajiv Shukla has over 3 decades of experience in the area of training and auditing of EHS professionals. Mr. Shukla holds a BE degree in mechanical engineering and an advanced diploma in industrial safety. He has also got trained twice from the International Labour Organization. He superannuated as Deputy Director and Lead Auditor from the Directorate General Factory Advice and Labour Institute, DG FAS LI. He is the Master Trainer and has trained over 50,000 personnel throughout India and has visited more than 3,000 industrial establishments, both in public, private and government organizations and also technical institutions. So one can understand the kind of expertise which we have with us now. So I request Mr. Shukla to kindly deliver presentations. The presentations again very important because that actually tells you about the kind of skills and the certifications one's required in order to harness the career opportunities. Thank you. So over to you, Mr. Shukla.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam. And good morning to all. Good afternoon to all executives, all officers, Dr. Patil, and other speakers. Because time is very limited, so that's why I am starting this session. Okay. Now, if you see, I will give on the brief on this statistics in relation to qualified safety professionals from DG Fastly and other institutions in India. And that is for 25 years, 1995 to 2020. This is just approximate figure, you can understand. So 1995 to 2020, the first qualification need, as you know that as per Factory Act, section 40B, that is the requirement for appointment of safety officer in a manufacturing units and factories and all sectors. So that is course is advanced diploma course in industrial safety. Some institute we say ADIS, PDIS and DIS, but it is same. And duration is 1 year full-time course. That is very prestigious course. Now proudly I can say our students from CLI and RLI, they are working throughout the world. And they are holding a very senior post up to the president, EHS and vice president and head of the organization, and all from central level institute and regional level institute. And that is the headquarter, Premier Institute, the founder organization of this country, DG Fastly. So I am passed out from this central level institute only 1997. And so this is, I can say, very prestigious course. So I am talking about this course only. The qualification, that is BE or BTech, any core branch of engineering, means civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics. Now, two more added, that is instrumentation and chemical and all things also. But main core branches are civil, mechanical, electrical and IT also. The experience for graduate engineers, it needs minimum 2-year experience as a supervisor in a manufacturing units or factories. That is working experience. That is important is after achieving your qualification. Then only, and that is the minimum requirement for doing this course. After this, another category, that is those who are diploma in engineering, any branch of engineering, diploma they have done. For their also experience is required, minimum 5-year experience in a manufacturing units and sectors and factories. For those, minimum 5-year experience is required. And after that, BSc, those students, those who are BSc, it's science graduate, that is physics, chemistry and maths. The important thing is chemistry should be the subject. Chemistry is must. And for this also experience, minimum 5 years experience in a manufacturing units and factories. Now, after this, if I say, right now, from my this thing, I completed about 30 years in DG Fastly, and I was the course coordinator more than 18 years, subject coordinator and course coordinator also in Regional Labour Institute, Faridabad, when it started, and then Central Labour Institute, about 19 years. So total 22 years I devoted in this only. And I was the coordinator for factory inspector course also, more than 15 years as a course coordinator, and conducted for so many training programs for basic course for factory inspectors, those who are working in various states. Now, if you see the qualified safety officer, as that is the total figure is coming 5065 numbers. I would say this is not confirmed, but just with my experience in this thing, from Central Labour Institute and Regional Labour Institute, total qualified safety officer in 25 years, that is more than 5,000. Maybe 6,000, maybe it is not less, it is more than that. Then from other institutes, here it is very important to say this. Our course is full-time 1-year course, and other institutions in Maharashtra itself, I have seen, in Mumbai itself, more than 10 institutes are there. Then Aurangabad, Pune, Nasik, Nagpur, and other states also. So many institutes, they are conducting these courses also. If you calculate this, that figure is 4 times, 5 times. This is coming 20,500. It may be 25,000. It may be 25,000. So now you can understand the challenge of this. I attended one seminar also. I was the part of this thing. So this is the challenge for qualified safety officer, means quality of safety officer. I mean to say quality of safety officer. One person is doing study complete 1 year after leaving the job. That quality, and a person is doing safety officer course, attending only 2 hours class, or 1 month, or thrice in a week or twice in a week. So you can understand the quality of safety officer. So I am concentrating on that. And if you know, all leading companies in India and outside India also, they clearly say, I want a qualified student, qualified safety officer passed out from Central Labor Institute only, or Regional Labor Institute only. Why? This is the thing you can understand, and a comparison. Now, another qualification, another course, that is AFIH course, Associated Fellowship of Industrial Health, that is 3-month certificate course. Actually, it's a sandwich course. The syllabus is of 1 year, but somehow doctors are not available. That problem is there. Lot of challenges are there. So we have started this MBBS. After MBBS experience, minimum 2-year experience in a hospital or equivalent institutions, 3-month course. That is for doctors, and that is the requirement. After, if you see, after Bhopal tragedy 1984, 3rd December, the chapter 4A added. Before that, it was not. Before that, chapter 4 was there, and now it is chapter 4A added. 4A added. So that is the requirement for doctors. A 3-month course. After doing this course, then only they are authorized to give their services to the respective organization as a medical officer, as an expert, and IC. Now, after this, just now, before 15 days, I visited Cochin, one multinational company as a lead auditor. There I have seen, I was so happy, and there I found one doctor. He has passed his AFIH long back, and it was, I think, 97, 98, same batch from Central Labor Institute. So nicely he arranged occupational health and center. I was so happy, and I can understand, if a qualified person is there, then definitely the environment of that industry, it is remarkable. I have speechless. I was speechless. Just a second. My slide is missing this slide. Before that. Yes. So that now I calculated that is various centers. There are about 8 to 10 centers in India are doing this course. About 7250 numbers, maybe more also. More than 7,000 qualified doctors from this course, AFIH course, they have completed. After this, if you see, we are conducting one more course, that is supervisor course. Those who are working in hazardous process industries as per the Factories Act 1948 under section 2CB. It may be read as 2 within bracket CB. By mistake, it is under section 2CB. That is 1 month certificate course for graduate. Qualification is graduate, postgraduate, graduation in engineering, then diploma in engineering and BSc. But here experience is required 2 years. So those who have completed this course, then only they can work in the factory premises in a hazardous process industries. After this Bhopal tragedy, this was the change, and I am proudly I say always I am the faculty for this, and there's a 1 month course, and I have proudly to say I am the faculty for both engineers and doctors. Continuously, I was teaching to the doctors and engineers, and I am the faculty for both Delhi Metro and Mumbai Metro, like that. Now, this from DG firstly, and more details, if you want to know all students and all EHS experts, they wanted to see, kindly see the website www.dgfirstly.nic.in and connected website you will get then ILO and OSHA, because we are getting all guidelines from OSHAs and KOSHAs and other countries also. Okay, now second. Now I will talk about EHS policy. The types of hazards addressed by the 3 major environmental health and safety disciplines. Summary of this we'll discuss. Evaluation of type of hazards addressed by the discipline. Description of how industrial hygiene practices relate to safety and health programs. This already Dr. Patil has told, and now it's the next. Now, what is this? Because very limited time is there. EHS is important because it protects employees. The laws in different countries may vary, but the basic principle is the same. Employee safety and employer responsibility. To keep employees safe at work, EHS policies are an important part of corporate responsibility. This is coming under the CSR activities, and policy is on the top. So here I would like to say about this policy, and it is nothing but a written commitment. The occupier of every factory, except as provided in sub rule of 2 as per the Factory Act, shall prepare a written statement of policy in respect of health and safety of worker at work. Okay. Now, if after this, if you want to see further, you can see all factories. There are categories: A, covered under section 2M1, but employing less than 50 workers. This is the condition. And B, covered under section 2M2, but employing less than 100 workers. Means within 100 are exempted from requirements of Rule 1. After this, you can see this as per section 2CB, first schedule. If you see the first schedule, and processes, carrying out processes are operations declared to be dangerous under section 87 of the Act 1948, notwithstanding anything contained in 2 and distinct. And after this only, just I wanted to say, clearly it is showing, clearly assigning the responsibility at different levels and arrangement for making the policy effective. So this you can refer. First important thing is in this policy, what it should be. It's a written commitment. There should be in particular, policy should specify the following features: arrangements for involving the workers with the help of safety committee meetings and members. 50% representation from management side, 50% representation from worker side. This is the law says. The intention of taking into account the health and safety performance of individuals at different levels while considering their career advancements. I am talking about, because so many students are listening this, their career advancements, that is promotion. Then fixing the responsibility of the contractors, subcontractors, transporters, and other agencies entering in the premises. This should be the part of that policy. Then providing a resume of health and safety performance of the factory in its annual report. The relevant techniques and methods such as safety audits and risk assessment for periodical assessment of the status of health, safety, and environment, and taking all the remedial measures. Stating the material as well as selection and pledge. This is very, very important. In that policy, the all decision, including those dealing with purchase of plant, listen carefully, purchase of plant, equipment, machinery, and material, as well as selection and placement of personnel. This should be included in the policy and arrangement for informing, educating, and training and retaining. Training, retaining, refreshing its own employees at different levels and the public where it is required. This is the requirement. Next. Now, because time is very limited, so I am highlighting the points that is nowadays for this for creating interest. The main thing is our main target is to reduce accident, to reduce losses, to reduce property losses, to save the environment. Because safety, health, and welfare, it needs propaganda, it needs exhibit the thing, and ultimately it's a noble cause to save a life and to save the property. So that comes under BBS. So this is nothing but a psychological approach to improve human behavior for the purpose of safety, that is reducing accident. The main thing is human behavior. So, and second, if you see, it helps in improving safe work habits, public practices. The work habits in this COVID period also, if you see, the problem is only practice. Problem is only work habits, because our habits are not fine. Because of our bad habits, and bad, my dear friend, bad habits are nothing but unsafe acts. And all unsafe acts are because of unsafe condition. And all unsafe conditions are nothing but poor housekeeping, that poor hygiene conditions. Now, if you see the 6 pillars of behavior-based safety, that is number 1, you say leadership. As Dr. Patil has told, the leadership, leader of leadership, the quality of leader in India and outside India and all over the world, there are a number of leaders, but quality of leader, as we listen from the very beginning, from the very childhood, the leader makes difference. So definitely leader makes difference, but which type of leader? The quality of leader. So quality is a very, very important. Leadership, then engagement. The second pillar is engagement, means engagement for all workers to the top management. Each and every person are engagement. I used to say in my session, that is R to R. We are working between R to R, means recruitment to retirement. My focus is recruitment to retirement. That is engagement. Then coaching, training, retraining, all things. Actually, I belong to training and productivity division. Through UPSC, I have been selected as a trainer. So I'm a master trainer. So coaching, training, retaining, refreshing. Why we say a child, brush your teeth, number of times, 100 times, if we say, brush your teeth, do this work, then only practice comes. So continuous approach is important for workers. Then after that, 4th pillar comes, that is communication. That communication is skill. Which type of communication? Because if you see, no communication is best, either written or oral. In this world, there is no communication. Any communication is not perfect. It depends on your experience, your attitude, and your skill and your experience. After this, after communication, we'll see recognition. Every person needs recognition. Workers to the top management, that is a psychological factor, recognition. Ego. In this world, the problem is only ego. Everybody needs recognition. Then after that, measurement. If anything is there, because in 2015 only, I did my master's from Mumbai University, and especially I have selected the word, this is HR. So measurement means, if you see m to the power 5, means man, material, machine, methods, and 6, if m to the power 6 means measurement. So if there is no measurement of personal, of material, machine, and methods, there is no meaning. So always there should be a measurement for each and everything. There should be a measurement for all things. Okay. So this is the 6th pillar. Now another model, if you see, that is BBS model, that is ABC model, that is, if you see antecedent, behavior and consequences. It is nothing but a stimulus that comes before an unsafe behavior. Because of time limitation, you see the unsafe behavior. All in this world, all problems are because of unsafe behavior. Because of unsafe behavior of the worker, of the supervisor, our manager, our leader, or anybody. So that is behavior. So we have to concentrate on unsafe behavior. Then anything that we can see an individual do or say. If somebody is doing some work, or if he say something, either doing the work or saying the things, if he is delivering any dialogue, it shows his behavior. It shows his attitude, and attitude towards activity, attitude towards work. If you say the system now ask attitude, skill and knowledge. So it shows his knowledge. The moment he open his mouth, the knowledge comes. Because as you know, the knowledge is always on the top. Because knowledge is power, power is knowledge. The consequence is any event that occurs after a specific behavior. For that, we are responsible, my dear friend, we are responsible for a specific behavior. Now, leadership. What is leadership? Everybody knows. The leadership is the activity of influencing people to strive willingly for group activities. Always, leader works for the group. It's a group objective, group objective. So, to strive willingly for group objective. How? The number one is leadership behavior. It depends on the leadership behavior, which type of leader he is, how much knowledge, what is the background of that leader, and what is the motto, what is the objective. Then safety culture. Then it comes to after the safety culture, it goes to the safety performance. If a leader is knowledgeable, if leader is perfect, then definitely a good culture will develop. And after developing the good safety culture, then definitely safety performance from all walk of life, safety of performance from all workers, managers, supervisors, even in the top leaders, that definitely performance will come up and definitely measurement will become high. And then you can measure the things. And that is nothing but management leadership. That is the top leadership. Okay, now next. Now, if you see 7 C's of leadership, each and everything has got a lot of meaning. That leadership is nothing but a care of the person, care from workers to the top management, including contractual workers or all workers. As you know, as a factory act and this, every worker, except occupier, everybody is worker. Except occupier, this we should not forget. Every worker, except occupier, everybody is worker. Now control of all affairs, control of all activities, all manufacturing activities, control behavior also. Then competence for any production, for increasing any productivity, the competence is required for all persons because it's a teamwork. Then credibility of the persons, of the material, of the product. Then collective management, it's a point of collective management. It's not a one-man show. It's a complete teamwork. There is a complete team for managing all things, safety, environment, health, and all training, education, HR, all divisions. Then communication. That communication I have told already, and I will say on the communication. Then coaching, training, retaining, refreshing, and caring. This is leadership, and all points we have to take care. Now we'll discuss about communication. So what is communication? That is also a simple thing everybody knows. Communication is the process of sharing ideas, facts, opinions, information, or knowledge between 2 or more individuals and understanding the meaning. Now, sharing ideas, we can share idea, we can idea from a very small person. Even you can share ideas from a child.
Sir, excuse me,
Very
sir.
small child also, you can give the message, ideas, opinions. Yes, anything? Any problem?
Sir, actually, we request that 5 more minutes you have.
Yeah, yes, 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 I will finish. I know the thing. Opinions, information, or knowledge between two or more individuals and understanding the meaning. Now, here under this communication, we need who says. This is important. Who says what? To whom? Through what channel and how they are doing, and with what effect? What effect? So, now here, why communication for OSH? Information, for getting information, collecting information, foster motivation to all persons, then decision making, this is the person, then coordination among all employees, workers to the top management, union leaders, control behavior of the all persons, then emotional expression, face reading, and if I say types of communication is nothing but lack of communication, if there is no communication. Number two, defective communication, negative communication, good communication, and effective communication. Here I will say only negative communication, my dear friend, negative communication is nothing but all unsafe conditions. You take it granted. All negative communication is nothing but the all unsafe condition, and all unsafe conditions are the outcome of because of unsafe act. And all unsafe conditions are poor housekeeping because of these accidents. If you the Beirut accident or Jaipur refinery or Bhopal tragedy and all incidents, all in this world, every fire and explosion takes place behind that short circuit. And after investigation, we found short circuits. And short circuit is nothing but the example of poor housekeeping only. So this is the thing. And under this, we are conducting now this next. That barrier of what is there are number of communication, psychological barriers, emotional barriers, physical barriers, semantic and language barrier. Because of language, lot of problems are there. Then cultural behavior because of our religion and because of state, various languages, various systems. Then organizational behavior, organizational barriers, and there are some miscellaneous things are also. Under this also, I wanted to say about it only because 2 minutes are there. I wanted to, I am adding, if we follow government guidelines, we are safe. If we follow legal rules and regulation, good practice. This is coming under good practice. If we clean our hands periodically, good habits. Just my submission for this. And because of this, because of our bad habits only, problems are there. If we use face mask, good habit, that is quality face mask if you use, definitely good habit. If we don't maintain social distancing 6 feet, bad habit. It is nothing but bad habit, risk to self and risk to others also, and environment also. The bad habits are nothing but unsafe act that I have told, and all unsafe conditions are nothing but this example of this. And I am telling the few unsafe acts, just I am telling, that is operating without authority. That is the great unsafe act, for which we are not entitled. Operating at unsafe speed, not following SOPs, not following rules and regulation, not following do's and don'ts, not following Indian Electricity Act and rules, not following Factory Act, not following Environment Protection Act, Air, Land and Water Act, and this is creating problem. Not using safety devices and guards, that is unsafe act. And making safety devices inoperative, bypassing the system. And in the last, I would say the great unsafe act, that is teasing to the person, teasing, abusing, distracting others. That is the great unsafe act. And making shortcuts, that is, and horseplay, that is the main reason for accident. And this we talk in our session and this thing. And just I wanted to say that if time is not there, everybody knows about FIS. FIS is nothing but a place for everything and everything in its place. And 6th S is safety and 7th S is sustainability. Accident is not an act of God. There is a definite reason for accident. Now this is 7 C's of communication. This is last, candid, complete, concise, concrete. The communication should be concrete, correct, courteous, and clear and candid. This is the last. So, thank you very much for patience hearing.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla.
I tried to.
Thank you. I think very lucid presentation. So over to my colleague, Mr. Dilip, for the poll questions, please.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So in this presentation also, we have 2 poll questions. So the first poll questions in your screen. What are the 7 C's of leadership? Communication, competence, coaching, all of the above. We'll give 5 more seconds to the attendees. All of the above is a correct answer, and 95%, 90% of the attendees actually corrected as answered correctly. The next question is, define behavior-based safety, leadership, communication, recognition, all of the above. We'll give 5 more seconds. Correct answer is all of the above. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Dilip. So we move on to the last presentation of this webinar. And this presentation is on sharing experiences by Madam Gayatri Ramanna. So before I request Madam Gayatri for her presentation, I'll just briefly read out her profile. Ms. Gayatri is an expert in the field of environment, occupational health and safety, with more than 2 decades of experience in design of EHS management systems, sustainability reporting, EHS statutory compliance management, and development of training modules. She holds a master's degree in environmental science and also is the NBQP accredited lead auditor for ISO 14001 and ISO 45001 standards and accredited tutor for SHE regulations internal auditors course. She is currently working as partner and the chief operating officer at EHS Consultants, which is a consultancy organization and a training firm, head office at Indore. So with this, I request Ms. Gayatri Ramanna to please share her experiences. I'm sure this presentation is also going to be very, very interesting because we'll actually see how, because this is another, being a consultancy organization itself is another career opportunity other than, being an industry setup and trying to adhere to the ensuring the compliance with the legal requirements. So this itself will be very interesting, of course, to see how the audits are done at the same time as a career opportunity also. So over to Madam Gayatri. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah, but we're not able to see the slide. Yes.
Yeah. Is it fine?
Yes, we can see your slides.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. I thank National Biopharma Mission for giving me an opportunity to share with you all the career aspects or career prospects for professionals in India for EHS field. So what I would be doing is to share what is my experience as a EHS professional who has worked with a manufacturing facility. And then later on, I have switched to a consultant mode. And I have faced a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities that are there. And I always feel that there is a requirement in the organizations for a EHS professional. And there are people who are there who wants to enter into this field, but that gap is always there. So people don't know what needs to be done to become an EHS professional. And bridging that gap is a very important requirement now. So with this introduction, I would say that my focus would be to give an idea of what needs to be done to develop yourself as an EHS professional and getting into any organization. So my focus would be on biopharma, of course, but I would give an overall overview of what it would be like to be an EHS professional. So I remember when I started my career, so I remember when I entered my company that day on the first day, my vision or my expectation was that I would be working in a chemical lab, because doing an MSc in environmental science, the focus was related to pollution control, analysis of pollution levels, and focus was all those things. But I was surprised when I was introduced into a field where I had to work in an office, developing the management systems, developing procedures, training people. So this was it was an entirely different expectation that was there in the industry. So if you relate, probably today also many of the people who come to me, or when we interview people are also in this same confusion, or that expectation is not known to the students or to the freshers who want to enter into this field. So let me take you through how you can develop this career requirement and what are the various opportunities that are there in India where you can get into an organization as an EHS professional. So if you see, there are two ways of entering into an industry as a EHS professional. One is the educational background, of course, where you are doing a degree like B.Tech, B environmental engineering, B.Tech environment, fire protection is there. Many such degrees are there, which are dedicatedly for environment safety, fire protection, occupational hygiene. Or you are from any other area like B.Tech in chemical and mechanical, electrical, and I have seen many computer professionals coming into the EHS professional. So if you have done those degrees, there are many PG diplomas that are available, which can enhance your knowledge of EHS, and you can enter into the organization. Another field is where, as my co-panelist Dr. Patil was telling, is a lateral entry. So you are already into an organization working as a professional, either in a production area, as a facility management executives, or in a maintenance part. You also can develop certain knowledge, doing some courses, trainings, workshops, and get into the EHS professional. These are the two ways of entering as an EHS professional. I'll just briefly tell you what is the expectations in the organizations for EHS professionals. So if you take any organization's work, it might be a manufacturing facility, a research facility, R&D facility, or a clinical research that is there. So any area if you take, there are processes that are happening, and because of those processes, there are many impacts on the environment, where the environmental professional comes into picture for managing those impacts on the environment. On the other side, there are impacts on the people who are working in those processes. So that is where the safety professional come into picture. So when we talk about any organization, there is a requirement for an environment professional, safety professional, fire protection professional. It is there, and the organizations are very much focused on having these professionals and keeping their systems abreast with companies do for EHS systems. One is which is it is mandatory. There is no other go that the companies have to do. That mandatory is, one is the compliance obligations, which are the law of the land. So all EHS legislations that are there, environment, safety, fire protection, everything, the law of the land that is there, have to be followed by the organization. Second one, which is becoming very nowadays, stakeholder requirement. When I say stakeholder, it will be like a customer requirement, the requirement of the financial institutions and all those things. Then there is a voluntary requirement which companies adopt so that they can enhance their EHS performance. Their image also increases in the society. So that's what is voluntary. It's like you all know about ISO standards, international standards that are there. So for environment and safety, it is ISO 14001, ISO 45001 that is there, and also, of course, the best practices that are there, benchmarking with the best practices that are. So this is overall the expectations in an organization. So just give an overall idea. Environment regulation we talk about, focusing on the biopharma sector. If you see the major regulations that are would be Water Act, Air Act, hazardous waste, hazardous chemical rules, hazardous microorganisms, genetically engineered organisms rules. The major rules that would be applicable to a biopharma sector. If you take safety regulations, my co-panelist has given a very detailed requirements of Factories Act and all. Other things that get into it is gas cylinder rules is there, Petroleum Act, electricity rules. So these are to keep in mind. So you can keep in mind. So these are the things that you have to be abreast when you have to enter into an organization as a EHS professional. Similarly, when I talk about the stakeholder requirements, when what I told you, it encompasses these major rules that are, guidelines that are applicable to the biopharma sector. There is a environment, health and safety guidelines of the World Bank. So if there's a World Bank involvement that is there in any organization, in any research sector, the company is have to follow the environment, health and safety guidelines. It's a very elaborate guideline that is there. Then there is, of course, good manufacturing practices, good international industry practice. Then from our Department of Biotechnology, Environment, Occupational Health and Safety Management Framework is there. So these are some of the frameworks that are there, which these stakeholders expect the industries to follow. So that is where the EHS professional come into picture. So they are the people who will advise, guide the production people, maintenance people, or the leadership itself how to implement these guidelines in their organization. And of course, there are some specific customer requirements that would be there, which needs to be here by this side was the voluntary practices that are there, environment management system, then occupational health and safety management system, industry best practices are there, sustainability reporting is there. These are all voluntary practices that the companies follow, and that is where EHS comes into picture. So whatever I have shown you in these 3 slides, it's not that everybody should know everything, but having an idea of what these are will definitely help you into entering into an EHS profession or entering into an organization as an EHS professional. So there are various stages which my co-panelist has already told you, where entry-level requirement is there. Then if you are entering as a manager, there will be a different requirement, which I'll just brief you in the next slide. So in any organization, typical EHS positions that are available for people to enter is, which I'm showing on the slide. So there would be a EHS leader. This is not the structure. I'm just putting all the typical positions that would be there in the organization. In some organization, all these positions would be there, bigger organizations. In a smaller organization, one EHS person would be managing all these. So this is how the EHS structure works. So there are safety officers. These are all like qualified safety officers, which is a requirement of the legal that Factories Act. They have to be there. Then environment officers focusing on the environmental aspects. Then treatment of waste management, air emission control, and all those things. And also related to product stewardship and design for environment and all those things. Compliance officer is the person who takes care of the legal requirements. How to comply with the legal requirements will be the and guiding the various departments of the organization will be the compliance officer's responsibility. Then, of course, the occupational health officer, then sustainability executive or officer would be there. So these are typical EHS positions that you see in an organization. There are also another way the EHS is managed. There wouldn't be a EHS department as such, but EHS comes under the facility management process. So in that case, also the same positions would be there, but these people are like more into the process. Like, for example, an environment engineer who will be responsible for ETP, STP management, then waste management or air pollution control, those technical things they will be responsible for. Similarly, safety engineer will be responsible for design of a machine where safety aspects are going into that, ensuring that whatever the procurement happens, whatever the tools, equipment comes into the industry are safe. So these are the kind of things the safety engineer will take care of. Fire officer responsible for taking care of the fire protection system in the company. Various fire protection systems would be like fire hydrant system is there, fire alarm system, many such systems that are there. So they are responsible for keeping it up and running because that's the emergency equipment that are there in the organization. Project safety officer is like focused on whenever any company, for example, there is an R&D facility which needs an expansion or which needs to bring in a new facility, they want to construct something. So in that area, project safety officer comes into picture where they focus on the construction part of it. Industrial hygienists take care of the workplace monitoring and ensuring the industrial hygiene. So these are the typical EHS positions that are there. If you see, there are various opportunities that are there for a person to enter into an organization as an EHS professional. Only thing that you have to do is to acquire those skills that are required for these typical positions that are there in the industry. Okay. What is that? I have elaborated. I will just elaborate a little bit. What is the expectations from a EHS professional when you go into an organization pinpointedly? So if it is a manager level, so when I say lateral entry is there, you are already working in a company as a production or maintenance facility manager, want to come into an EHS professional, the lateral entry can be on a manager level. So at that level, what would be the requirements? Like you are supposed to know or you are responsible for implementation of EHS management system, ISO standards, statutory compliance of the company, compliance to stakeholder requirements, executing the EHS training programs. This is a very important part of any EHS in a company because training, my co-panelist was telling, training, refreshing, retraining becomes very critical because of the changing pattern of the impacts and the risks in the company. So it would be changing depending upon the changing process, changing scenarios. So EHS training, if you want to become an EHS professional, giving training or becoming a trainer would be very important skill for you. Operational controls, project EHS management, of course, performance monitoring. So as a EHS professional, doing audits, inspection, guiding people where they are going wrong, all this becomes a very important part. So becoming a good auditor is very important for an EHS professional. Similarly, if you take a fresher, if you want to enter you're a fresher, you want to enter into an EHS professional. So these are the things that you are supposed to be knowing, like risk assessment studies, aspect impact studies. You have to be very good in data collection, data analysis, report preparation. Of course, when the entry-level executives and officers, EHS professionals are more into all these data analysis, report preparation, documentation, guiding people, training employees, training contractors, vendors. So this would be like a ground level job you will be doing. So if you are doing this job for I would say like 3-4 years, if you are sticking with an organization and have done all these things, this is a solid foundation for any person to become an EHS professional. So your career, if you are very well with trained in all these things which I have listed in this slide, you will be a very solid EHS professional. But you have to be ready to do that kind of ground level job of many things, like ground level job in the sense preparing documents, going to the field, So all those things are very important for an EHS professional, because becoming a EHS manager will be easy if you have done the things by yourself. So my experience is, I have worked as a EHS executive. I have been responsible for running ETP, STP, waste management. I have soiled my hand in doing the waste segregation, waste management, and all those things. That have helped me in a large extent to become a good trainer, auditor, and a consultant. So this is what it is. And just to summarize, and just to add to this, an additional thing that I want to tell you is, which I face when I am hiring a person for EHS executive or EHS manager. Some of the soft skills that we miss in people are what I have written over here. So these are very, very, very basic things, but this is what is missing in people nowadays. So it's like good communication skill. When I say communication skill, both verbal and written, because when you have to become a EHS professional, as Mr. Patil was telling, you are leading the leadership. So your verbal communication should be very strong, pinpointed, to the point, and communicating very clearly what needs to be done. So that is important. Another one is written communication, because EHS professionals are responsible for developing the systems in a company. You will be writing the instructions, writing the procedures. If you are into sustainability, writing a report, when you are doing a data analysis, good communication important professional. And then comes the, this is, maybe it is a thing to laugh at, but I want to stress on this. Working knowledge of computer programs. Very basic knowledge, like working with Word, Excel, point, important. But I think my experience of working with freshers, because I have a lot of people in my team, the freshers when we take, so we struggle a lot with Excel, we struggle with X things. So I'm sorry. Okay. So then, very important thing for an EHS professional is, EHS professional people interaction is very important, because you, I think when you become an EHS person in an organization, you are a thread which is threading all the within the organization, starting from design R&D, procurement people, the people who are doing the processes, the maintenance people, the every department there is environment aspect. So becoming a EHS professional is not possible. So that has soft skill has to be, you have to train yourself to become a good people person. It is very important to be being a people person, because you have to bring them into your thought process. You
Hello, Ms. Gayat. We are not able to hear you. Hello.
Miss Gayatri, we are not able to hear you, please.
with people getting data, and then identifying some solutions for the organization would be there. Hello.
We couldn't hear you.
Is it okay?
Please continue. Yes, please continue.
I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know what happened. Should I start with a communication skill where it got dropped off? Hello? Oh my God.
Please.
Yes, ma'am. If you could just start, that would be great, because there was some issue in the voice.
Communication. Shall I start with a communication skill?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. So what I was trying to tell is the soft skills required for an EHS professional, which is very important, because being a strong EHS professional, these are the basic things that are required. Some of these things are, if you say it is basic, it is like obvious. But my experience of hiring people, having freshers into my team, is that these are the things that are missing in people when they come into the as a fresher. So the thing is verbal communication and written communication. Verbal communication is very important because you are leading the leadership. Okay, so communicating very clear cut what is the requirement, convincing people will become very important. Then comes the written communication, because EHS professionals are the people who develop the processes in the company, develop procedures, they develop the systems in the company. So if you are not good in writing, if you are not good in written communication, then it's very difficult to convince or communicate your thought processes into the to the other people. Then comes the second one is, as I was telling you, this is very, very basic, and maybe people will ask why I have put this point over here, but this is one area where I feel and I see lot of deviations. I mean, a lot of deviations that are there. Okay, so because EHS professional, especially when we take you as a fresher, the requirement would be like preparing some reports, collecting data analysis, then bringing out the output, preparing presentations, all those things would be there. And especially in my field as a consultant, we are for instructions is very important. So please get ready with this and become proficient in this. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to get into this profession. The third one is very important: people interactions, because I would say EHS is a person who is like a thread which threads all the departments in the organization. So it starts from the people who are in the design department, R&D, then people who are in the process, people who are in procurement, transportation, people who are in the support services like the maintenance, facilities, HR. Everybody will be involved in EHS. So you are the person who will be responsible for convincing these people why they have to implement EHS in their area, because this is an additional thing for them. So that convincing power is very important. Negotiation skill, that's what I was telling, because you have to bring all these people together and ensure that EHS is being implemented in the organization. Fourth is the conducting trainings. I told you in the previous slide also, becoming a good trainer is an additional skill that is required for an EHS professional. If you are a good trainer, then that is an added advantage. So you should know the tools of the training, methods of doing training, module preparation. All these things are very important for an EHS professional in any organization. Research acumen, because see what happens is when there is some problems that is coming up, some safety risks are there, or some environment impact is generated by the process. So that is where EHS professional is looked at to give solutions. You are supposed to look into it, do an analysis, and see around what is the solution that is there outside. It might be a technology, it might be a best practice done in other organizations. You have to research that, analyze it, see whether it is aligning with the organizational requirement, and then bringing that solution. Very important. The last one, but not the least, is the learning aptitude, because EHS is an area which is evolving every day. There is something new that is happening. There is something new that is coming up. So that is where we have to be open for learning. So you have to be that, you have to come with an open mind that anything that is there new, I will absorb it. That is what will help you to go from a fresher to a next step into the EHS professional. And this is a very, EHS professional is a very good opportunity that is there, where, as I said, you will be touching various, all the departments in the organization, and you will also acquire a lot of knowledge. And over a period of time, you can pinpoint on your core area, which attracts you more, or where you are passionate about, and you can go into, because I have shown you there are various paths for an EHS professional to become a subject matter. So that will happen when you are starting career. You have done all your basic, you have developed your foundation strongly. Then you can become a subject matter expert either in environment or sustainability or safety, fire protection. So your area you can select. So this is what is the expectations of an organization for an EHS professional. Last thing that I want to tell you, and I'll conclude with this on the next slide. So the challenges that an organization faces during a recruitment. Okay, this is especially for the student community who are there in this webinar, or the freshers who are like 1 or 2 years who want to come into lateral entry into EHS professional. These are the challenges that we are facing when we hire people. So as a consultant, we hire people for working in my team, because we take projects of the companies and then implement it. That is one part. Another thing is we hire people for the clients. So we hire the candidates who will be with the consultant, but working on a client side. So that is where the client requirement becomes very critical, and there is a huge gap. We are not able to find people. So why I am showing these challenges to you is, if you plug this gap that I am talking about, the challenges that are there, then you will be ready to get into the EHS as a EHS professional into the organization, because definitely there are huge requirements that are there in India for EHS professionals. My team just did a research on the Google to find out what kind of EHS openings that are there in India. It's not pinpointing on biopharma, but overall, if I say, and certain things we have got for biopharma requirements only. It's like on Naukri, if you see, there are 21,000 openings that are there for EHS professionals, safety officer. On Times Job, EHS manager, there are about around 560 jobs. EHS manager, there are about 7,009, around 8,000 jobs that are available, that are there on this job site for that is openings that are there as of now. So there are opportunities. You have to plug the challenges or plug the gaps that are there. And if you are ready with those skills, you can always get into the EHS professional. So the challenges is like limited knowledge about the basic thing. If you're going into your research facility, how does that research facility work? What are the different processes that are there? What is meant by a facilities management? What is utilities? These things you have to understand. I don't think it is a part of the curriculum in a college, but you get to know about it. That will help you tremendously. Otherwise, with a blind thing, we don't know what a factory is or what a research facility is, what is a lab, and we just go into there for working. You are like blindfolded. You cannot. It takes a lot of time to understand these processes. Not knowing about EHS legislations, safety requirements, environment protection systems. These are some of the limited knowledge that would be there. Inadequate skills on, as I told you, data analysis, preparation of reports, graphs. Very, very simple, basic things the freshers are lacking. I am very open and straight in this. These are the things that has to be developed by students, freshers, or professionals who want to come into this. Poor communication, written communication is very poor. What happens is the written communication has become like a WhatsApp communication. So there is no proper communication that happens. That's there. Expectations and experience mismatch. I told you in the beginning itself, the expectations of the organization is there. The experience is very, that huge gap is there. Finding a right candidate fulfilling the expectation of the organization is very difficult nowadays. So we have to bridge this because there is a requirement. There are people who want to enter into this. So this bridging. So that's where I was thinking this NBM is doing a good job of at least giving this information to the people so that they can be prepared for it. The last one is just to give an idea of the EHS courses and trainings that are there and who are the training providers that are there in India. You can approach and you can enhance your knowledge in these areas if you're really serious into coming as a EHS professional. So there are like PG diplomas that are there in various universities. Some of them are like IGNOU is there in Amala University, UPS. You can do the PG diploma in industrial safety, environment management, pollution control, industrial hygiene. So even food safety, many PG diploma are there. Of course, the NEBOSH and IOSH is very popular and many of you know about it, which is focused on occupational health and safety systems training. Then ISO related awareness trainings happens. Open house trainings are there, like it's done by CII. It's the organization like ours also, we do a lot of open trainings also. Specific trainings on EHS topics. When I say specific trainings like one-day workshop on waste management will be happening, one-day workshop on hazard identification, risk assessment would be there, or two-day workshops on EHS legislations would be there. So those are the trainings that you can do and enhance your knowledge. Training providers, some of the training providers that are there, like CII is there. CII-CSD is a Sustainable Development Excellence Center of CII. They do a lot of training programs on EHS. National Safety Council does. Of course, various consultancy organizations do the open house trainings. NEBOSH is there. There are about 52 institutes across India for NEBOSH accredited partners where you can do your NEBOSH courses. Then, of course, IGNOU UPS, where you can do the PG diploma courses that are there, which can enhance your knowledge. So these are some of the things that I wanted to communicate because practically as a consultant, these are the challenges that I have faced. So I just wanted to give this information to you all so that it will help you to enhance your knowledge, enhance your skills. Of course, skills comes when you start doing the work, but at least with the knowledge, if you come with the knowledge, skills you can develop by doing the work regularly. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Gayatri, for this very, very comprehensive.
Over to you, Madam.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Gayatri, for this very lucid presentation. I'm sure people would have found it very, very informative. So I think over to my colleague, Mr. Dilip, for the poll questions.
Thank you, ma'am. So we have two questions. The first question is in your screen. What are the mandatory systems required in organization? EHS legislation, ISO certification, best practices. We'll give 3 more seconds. The correct answer is EHS legislation. The second question, expected skills of EHS professionals: quality management system, security systems, risk assessment. We'll give 4 more seconds to this. Correct answer is risk assessment. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dilip. So now we come to the last session, which is the panel discussions. Actually, in this session, we, what we do is that we have received questions from our participants, and we would like to flag them and request our panelists to kindly address them. So I think most of these questions that we have received over the last few days and also this morning, they are, I think they have been addressed already. But still, if there's something that our esteemed panelists would like to address, they may kindly. So the first question is, can IoT and artificial intelligence be used to enhance EHS and safety? So maybe I request Mr. Rajendra Patil to address. Sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah, that is very much possible. What we are doing in Syngene is all this wherever the installations are there, which are already part of a system like fire detection system, some sensors are there. They all can go into internet platform. From there, it can be operated remotely. It is quite possible. And nowadays, the government of Karnataka also has coming up with from emergency management. They are already seeking user requirement to connect factories centrally where alarm comes. They will know exactly in which building it is possible and going to be feasible as we move forward. That would be my response.
Okay. So if anybody else wants to supplement that, you may kindly please. So then we can move on to the next one. Yes, yes, madam. Yeah, please.
Sorry. So artificial intelligence is also getting introduced into the processes where it is helping in reducing the accidents and risks. So it is definitely getting implemented and adopted by the organization.
Okay. So the other question is about how to develop skills as an EHS professional. I think this has been very elaborately covered by our esteemed speakers. Now, in fact, they have gone to the extent of telling us what are the various levels at which professionals are required and the nature of qualifications and skills for these levels. But still, and also, in the last presentation, Ms. Gayatri has also, mentioned what are the various organizations and various platforms from where these skills can be acquired. So, but still, if our panelists would like to further elaborate, you may kindly. So they want to know that how to develop skills to become an EHS professional. Mr. Shukla, would you like to kindly elaborate further? Of course, I know you have given in details in your presentation.
Only the way is that an individual person has to increase their knowledge towards safety, health and welfare, a legal aspect and subject, and because it's you can say it's the ocean, and just you are moving along the sea, and
yes,
whatever way you are moving, you will get knowledge. So you have to increase your knowledge, you have to share, you have to discuss the thing, you have to visit. Until and unless if persons are there, I have seen only one plant, two plant, it is nothing. Until and unless you talk to the person, various industries, various professional, as she has told, because so that is the way only, and getting experience and to see the various industries, visiting, because I am an expert panel from NSC also, National Safety Council, and I used to visit about 2 years. I worked as an inspector in docks. So nowadays, Mumbai port also, and more than 100 ships I inspected, foreign and Indian vessels. So until and unless you come out, because only the way is to discuss the thing, you increase your knowledge, you improve. It is not required on you are mechanical engineer or electrical engineer. You should be a all-rounder. You should know about administrative aspects also, computer knowledge, then all things. So many things are important. Then only, and this is then only you can that attitude you have to increase. You have to develop your attitude. Not the work. Yes, this is the submission.
I'd like to add one thing over here. one thing that I would like to add now here is a ample opportunity that is there on online. So there are a lot of online courses that are there for the small skill development that people can do for EHS subjects.
I would like to add it as simile, madam. Improving the skill, jump into the swimming pool if you want to swim. You have all knowledge sitting beside the pool, but you please jump in, then you will learn to how to swim. I would put that simile.
Yeah, yeah, very rightly said. Very right. So I think there's a general question which says that there is a lack of awareness about the career opportunities in this area. So what is the way out? How should one go about creating awareness about the job opportunities in this very important EHS area? So any suggestions are welcome.
So I would say the kind of webinars that you have done, this is one platform there where the people are getting information about the career opportunities. And other thing that I am seeing is on LinkedIn and on WhatsApp, this sharing happens. What is the opportunities that are there? People can go into those areas. That is happening. But as a what do you say? Formal way, there is no platform where one can get an idea about EHS opportunities. That is lacking, definitely.
Now, just I wanted to share. Can I share my understanding?
Yes, please, please.
Yes, I wanted to share. Kindly pass this message that at least person should visit the headquarters, that Central Labour Institute, Mumbai, and that is we innovated the 50-year is opened in 66. So still persons are not knowing what are the agencies they are doing the work. So kindly visit our DG Firstly headquarters. Then you visit our Central Labour Institute, Regional Labour Institute, Faridabad, and there we develop industrial lighting and color section. You will be surprised to know it is one of the best in the world. And that Central Labour Institute, that permanent exhibition center, that if students are visiting, if persons are visiting, definitely they will understand, they will motivate. And all hospitals, the complete course is displayed in our safety center. And this is my advice to all. I'm visiting so many industries and doing this. I'm also doing EHS as a EHS consultant also. So my submission is kindly you develop this center in your organization, means in your factory, related with your activities. You can fabricate a small safety center, means exhibition center, so that person will visit. Now my pain is there. After retirement also I am waiting. This, see, after Bhopal tragedy, after 1984, there is no institute in MP. And still I am writing, I am requesting to person, after 84, there is no institute in MP. And so my request is that the development of other institutes in other states also, so that person will come and they will join this course and they will understand the thing. So
thank you, Mr. Shukla.
Yes.
Yeah. So of course, there are a few questions which are again general. Asking for the minimum qualifications required and minimum qualifying degree required to become an EHS professional. I think this was already addressed in the presentations, and also these presentations are available on the official page of the NBM webinars, so the one can look at that. But there's a very specific question by one of our participants, and they want to know whether a radiological safety officer who has been approved by the AERB, is he eligible for doing industry safety or disaster safety course? So I think if somebody would like to address that.
I think that is very much required. This AERB is one of the regulation, Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, what to say. But generally we see very few people use the radioisotopes, and radiology is a part of the business. But that would be an entry to the profession, and then always seek for what horizontally they can grow, what vertically they can go, reach up to that. I said that, foundation, consolidation, expert. It of course is a part of a requirement, and we appreciate people working in ERB regulation. So they will be added more feathers into their cap if they advance their area of I would say expertise in other areas also, industrial safety. Very well approachable.
Just I wanted to say one thing. For this radiation safety, it is very, very important topic. And I used to visit Bhabha Atomic Research Center as a trainer. I used to go there. So that is very, very important. Always they have to sponsor. Every year they have to sponsor at least one person for this course, industrial safety course. So radiation safety is very, very important nowadays because radiation is everywhere. Our industry also, and as per atomic regulatory board also.
Okay, so thank you very much, our esteemed panelists. With this, we come to the last part of the session. So I would like to take the opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to our three very esteemed speakers who gave comprehensive presentations, giving a holistic perspective of the career opportunities in this very important area of EHS. So the presentations broadly covered the relevance of this sector, EHS for the biopharma sector, also the various departments and the aspects in a company where the EHS compliance is critical. What are the EHS professionals expected to achieve in their various departments to ensure employee safety? Also that we learned that this is not something one time, but it's a continuous engagement, and also there's a requirement of periodic assessment and also audit, and this is also mandated under the law. So we also understood and learned about the qualifications and the skills sets which are required for different positions. But again, that is to get into a position, but then again, it's an ocean. So one has to actually get into the area to understand the length and breadth. And only once you get into the area, you would understand how to, the kind of leadership skills one has to achieve to be able to do justice. So I think we got a very good perspective of this area. And again, once again, I thank all our speakers for having made this happen. So as I mentioned that this is the 10th and the last webinar in the series of 10 webinars which we are organizing under the National Biopharma Mission of DBT, which is being implemented by the BIRAC. And 4 of these webinars were in the area of ethics and clinical research, and 6 in the area of environment, health and safety. And today one was the last in the area of EHS. So during this 10 webinars, we got more than about 6,500 participants who participated and got benefited, which is again, I think, a great achievement. And these participants were not only from India, but were from 30 different countries, including from US, Europe, Africa, China, SAARC countries, Malaysia, and many other places. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank NBM BIRAC for associating BCIL for organizing this series of webinars. It was a great learning experience for us also. And I would like to, express our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Kavita Singh, who is the mission director of NBM, Mr. Miraj Singh, who is the program director of NBM, and Mr. Mahesh Gade, senior program officer NBM, and also the IT team and the finance team of NBM, particularly Mr. Amarnath, who's in the IT department of BIRAC, and Mr. Alok Gupta from the finance department. They have been very kind and very supportive. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the moderators, all the speakers, and the participants of all these 10 webinars. And last but not the least, I would also like to thank my colleagues at BCIL. I would like to name some of them: Dr. Sanchita Chaudhary, the Assistant General Manager, Ms. Shreya Malik, Mr. Dilip Joy, who is here with us, Assistant Manager, and Mr. Rakesh Kumar Sagar, Mr. Rakesh, you are also there, and you can put on the video so that others can see. I would also like to mention here that all these webinars recording under these, for these 10 webinars, they are available on the official YouTube page of the National Biopharma Mission webinars. So, it's a great resource, and anybody who wants to access them, they are most welcome. So with this, I thank one and all once again. Thank you very, very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And for the attendees, you will be receiving a feedback form tomorrow along with the email. So that email will be containing the certificates also. So I request all the attendees to fill their feedback form, so that will enable us to improve this program in the coming time. So thank you once again. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for all.
Thank you for the co-panelists. Thank you, Mr. Patil and Mr. Shukla. Thanks a lot.
Right. Thank you very much from me as well.
Very interesting session. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dilip.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.